as a youth leader, our major concern is to begin to see how we can support the president to redeem his promises, but most importantly, make sure that whoever is going to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari is not just a young person, but somebody who can meet our current needs. Top on our current needs is the fight against insecurity. Top on our current needs is the disunity we are talking about. Someone who can unify the country. And most importantly, somebody who will mainstream more youth involvement and governance, not just youth, but even women. And like I said, while commending the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, we have seen some of these great attributes in him. We have seen that in Kogi State, he has been able to manage insecurity to the extent where the citizens can now sleep with their two eyes closed, not minding the fact that Kogi State is a mini Nigeria bordered by 9 states plus FCT. We have seen in Kogi State that the governor has managed the ethnic diversity and religious diversity. As I speak to you today in Kogi State, they are commissioning a chapel in Government House. That is the first of its kind in the history of Kogi State. All the governors we've ever had, including the current governor, Yahaya Bello, are Muslims. Yahaya Bello deemed it necessary that if there is a mosque in Government House for Muslims to worship, there should also be a chapel. So the governor is not interested in the religion or the ethnicity you belong to. He's more interested in your capacity to deliver. These are attributes we've seen in him. And that is one of the reasons why we felt he's the best person to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari. So we commend the president for his effort thus far. But like I rightly said, majority of our problems today needs youth to be able to tackle them, need young mind. Young minds in terms of ICT, young mind in terms of even their time. The number of time a man below 50 would devote to the service of this nation, you can't compare that to a man of 70, 80. Naturally, they deserve to be resting by now. And what we are telling our leaders above 50 years is that it's time for you to retire from active politics and why allow the younger people to take over while we pay you your pension as at Wendy. So it was good that President Muhammadu Buhari listened to voice of reasoning, listened to the yearnings of the people, and has changed the service chief. So we believe that alone is an overhaul of the security architecture in the country. And just 2 or 3 days ago, the president has given the new service chief a marching order to end all forms of insecurity in the country within the next few weeks. So we are hopeful, we have confidence in the new leadership of the defense, Nigerian defense. We also believe that most of those who were appointed are frontline people who were in the forefront of this battle. So the insecurity situation in the country is not new to them. So we expect more proactiveness. We expect that in the next few weeks, in line with Mr. President's directive and order as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the new service chief will do the needful and make sure that the lives and property of Nigerians are safe, which is the primary assignment of government. The ethnic division and national threat to national disintegration, threat to national unity is becoming more and more worrisome. The IPOBs are there, the Oduas are there, self-determination, insecurity, left and right. It's even degenerated to the extent where some sections of the food producers and even cattle rearers threatened not to take foodstuff to some part of the country. This Nigeria is becoming more and more divided, but in every situation there's always reason to be thankful. We want to sincerely be thankful to the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, the youngest governor in Nigeria, who averted what would have become a national disaster. Foodstuff were beginning to get to an extent that is becoming unbearable for the citizens. A situation whereby foodstuff that are costing 100 naira are beginning to cost 300 naira is worrisome. Because of this stoppage of food processes and then taking foods to the southern part of the country. At the same time, even the food stuff that are produced in the north are getting spoiled because these foods are meant to be sold to to those who need them, the consumers. But fortunately, because of the divisions in the country, because of the disunity in the country, the governor of Kogi State stepped in, and what would have been a national disaster was averted by that singular gesture. At the same time, one of the reasons why a lot of Nigerian youths are clamoring for someone who will be president come 2023 to be more of a unifier, somebody that will unify the country. We want a country where you'll be more interested in saying I am in Nigeria than I am from Sokoto, I am from Lagos, I'm a Yoruba, I'm an Hausa, I'm an Igbo, I'm a Basa, all this. We want a country where we'll have more and more, discuss more and more of national interest than ethnic, religious, and cultural interest. So it's worrisome as it is today, but we believe that the president is doing his bit. We are only hoping that whoever is going to take over from him will do better, will be more of a unifier, will be more of someone who is interested in the unity of this country as against where you come from, as against what you do, what religion you practice, as against which language you speak. So these are some of the very delicate lines that are noticeable in our country today. But we need a bridge builder. And we are, as Nigerian youth, we are beginning to see that in Alhaji Yahaya Bello, who has demonstrated the capacity to unify this country, haven't risen to the occasion to avert a very major national disaster. Because you know, you can even bear insecurity to a large extent, but with food and hunger, there are things that the citizens, the ordinary citizens, cannot bear. So we thank him, and we're also encouraging him. We continue to encourage him to join and come out and declare to be president come 2023, because some of those things that are expected of a president, he's already doing them. First, I want to sincerely appreciate Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for living by his words, standing by his words, and acting his words. If you recall, late 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari, while signing the Not Too Young to Run bill into law, actually promised a lot of things. Amongst his promises are involvement and inclusion of more youth into governance. More importantly of all the promises is his promise to hand over to a much younger person. After the NSAS protest, the president reiterated this commitment to get more youth into governance. And even at the heels of we, the Nigerian youth, clamoring for a more younger person to succeed President Buhari, President Buhari has demonstrated by this singular appointment of a 40-year-old man as EFCC boss that he is committed to his promises and that he's going to act his words come 2023. So there's no gainsaying that as Nigerian youth and as a Nigerian, I sincerely believe in the capacity of Bawa to handle the EFCC effectively and to tame corruption in Nigeria. Most of the problem that we have in Nigeria are best solved even with the use of technology. A young mind like Bauer will understand the need to deploy some technological device in tracking and even fighting corruption. So I believe as a young man that he is, he will bring his youthfulness into bear, collaborate with other agencies of government, and then bring in more young people, especially in the aspect of ICT, the era where you are going to be sealing people's houses, taking people to court even before you conclude your investigation, thereby watering down the case, should be over. We believe that as a young man that he is, he will bring his youthfulness to bear in tackling the corruption situation in the country, especially as to improving in the ICT in that particular commission, the EFCC. So I have 100% confidence in him, and millions of Nigerian youth have 100% confidence in him. But above all, I will end by calling on him to be a good ambassador of the Nigerian youth, because whatever he does in that office will be linked to our clamor and agitation for a younger person to be president, or younger people to be appointed into governance. So we are calling on him to discharge his duties without fear or favor, to be very, very meticulous in carrying out his activities, and be a good ambassador of the Nigerian youth.